Welcome, everyone who could join us in person and also virtually online. My name is Robert Levy, President of BrandSpark International, and we are just very delighted to be here welcoming you with the senior Newsweek team, as well as we help discover and support the brands most trusted by consumers. So the presentation will be about 30 minutes. We are happy to share this afterwards in case you want to reach out to myself or anyone on the BrandSpark team or on the Newsweek team, and we'll be happy to share this and other material. So let's get started. A little bit about BrandSpark. So BrandSpark is a market research firm that has been providing research and consulting services since 2001. As well as the developer of two leading consumer voted awards about new product innovation, the Best New Product Awards, and Brand Trust with Most Trusted. And the Most Trusted program is now in its 12th year in the US and Canada. And we're very excited now that we've launched our second edition of the UK brands most trusted by UK consumers. And you can see we are partnered with Newsweek in the US and in the UK. So a little bit about the Newsweek BrandSpark Most Trusted Awards. They are unique because they are completely unaided. So we nominate the categories, which are based on a diverse and timely selection of categories that will change. This is a program that we are planning to run every year. And there are no entrance or nomination fees whatsoever. And we then do research on a national basis, nationally represented. And this year in the survey, we surveyed 13,823 British consumers who were qualified to be able to have experience in the 163 categories that we surveyed. And in terms of how do the brands win, it's a completely unaided survey. So we ask consumers what brands they trust for a particular category. We then record the responses from the consumers, and then the highest share that is obtained is basically crowned as the top most trusted brand. We do present the top 3 brands when there's at least a 10% trust share. So to qualify, a brand must receive at least 10% trust share, and to be declared a sole winner, it must have a margin that exceeds 3%, or else a tie is declared. And so we basically have presented now a list of the most trusted brands. Some categories have 1, some have 2, and some have 3. So this year, in the 2024 Most Trusted UK survey, we had 163 categories, and they were roughly broken into a number of segments. So household and cleaning, pet care, durable home goods, food and beverage, beauty and personal care, over-the-counter health, baby and kids, automotive, retail and restaurants, and services. And you can see whether it's a sole winner or within the top 3, there are a number of ways now that winning brands can communicate this to consumers, to their internal stakeholders, to investors, this significant accomplishment of actually being voted a most trusted brand. Now, why Newsweek? Newsweek is a wonderful partner for us because as a brand, they are rapidly growing. They have huge trust around the world, including the UK. And they have a brand positioning that really fits perfectly well. Their whole idea is finding common ground to the center of the media world. And the line of now more than ever, finding common ground will foster the discourse necessary to grow. It's no wonder why Newsweek is reinvigorating. And ultimately, what's amazing in terms of independent research, that Newsweek is really perceived to be centrist, balanced, and no surprise, trusted. Just a few interesting statistics because we've been asked. In the UK alone, there are about 3 to 5 million monthly average users to Newsweek. And a little fun fact that on the WhatsApp for followers, The BBC has 2 million followers, and Newsweek has 4.6 million followers. So pretty impressive statistics. And also importantly, Newsweek is the fastest growing media brand in the world with independent research. So having Newsweek as a partner, as a credible source within the logo is just a huge advantage to immediately broadcast to consumers, to the various stakeholders, that this award is trusted, substantial, and meaningful. We also take pride that the logo works. It's an effective communication tool, and it's really valuable because it is the voice of consumers. And in independent tests, for example, J&J, now Kenvue, they did their own testing before deciding to use it across a number of their categories, such as baby care and also mouthwash. And in their own testing, they saw that the logo versus 7 other variations actually tested the best. So we do know that it works, and we're very proud that across North America and now growing in the UK, these are all the winning brands that have leveraged their BrandSpark and Newsweek Most Trusted Awards. And you can just see across personal care, retail, food and beverage, household, just a tremendous group of brands that have found it to be very valuable to communicate and integrate this into their marketing. One of the values of this is it works across an entire brand, not an individual product. And so it's a very flexible and credible and hardworking claim. So we thought it would be valuable to share some examples about how brands actually promote their wins. So you can see in the UK, we're very proud to welcome Emma, mattress in a box, Dettol across a number of categories, Vax carpet cleaner, Regain, Delcolax, Vitex, Braun, and more as well, who are joining the fold and are going to be leveraging their awards. Emma for the second time. And we're very proud and we're really excited about how Vax has positioned the Newsweek BrandSpark Most Trusted Awards alongside established credentials of Which and Good Housekeeping Institute, which are both expert credentials, which are well regarded. And the fact that they now have a consumer voted credential to complement really does add. And we think this is a wonderful example. I'll just play a quick TV commercial where you can see how Emma is also using it in one of their TVCs alongside Which and another award as well.
Every night, millions of people trust Emma with their sleep. Why? Because for a peaceful night's sleep, Emma has got everything covered, except messy morning hair. We haven't got a solution for that yet. Try our Emma Sleep Essentials for 200 nights at emma-sleep.co.uk.
200 nights. I don't know how they do that, but I'm glad I'm not in that business. So just continuing to show you some examples across telecommunications, again, mattresses in the US, and insurance, and household cleaning with P&G, food and beverage, retail. So we've really seen across the spectrum that trust is just becoming more and more important to consumers and to brands, and that they're really seeing great value in promoting their wins. Here we have Canada's most trusted grocery store for lowest prices. It's the leading grocery store in the country. Pure Life putting it on pack. Very interesting because Pure Life, we'll show you a little bit later, has found the ability to compete even against private labels. So private labels, store brands, an increasing trend and a real challenge for consumer brands. And again, a lot of the brands have found this to be a very effective way to hold their ground against private label. Again, you can see Walmart using it and Behr Paints using it nationally across Canada and the US, Dempster's on bread. And why does it matter? Why does brand trust matter? It matters because it can help you command higher margins, up to 30% of a price premium, which again, if you think of the challenges with inflation, with price, with private labels, this is a critical need for brands who invest in R&D, who are creating the need to spend on marketing, for example, to be able to command that premium. better retention, less likely to leave in the face of market disruptions, as well as category and product expansion. We know that over 7 in 10 consumers are willing to try new products from brands that they trust. So it not only helps you maintain the franchise you have, but grow. And new product innovation, again, another area that we are experts in, is a very important way to maintain and build trust. We have a unique brand trust expertise that we invite all winners and all brands interested in learning to contact and access our trust expertise that we have within this amazing database. Just in the UK alone, for example, we had over 67,000 open-ended reasons for why consumers trusted the brands that they did. We're also leveraging the latest in artificial intelligence to help us understand what it all means even better. So we have a ton of information about every category and all of the top brands within the 163 categories that we studied this year. And we approach brand trust not only just from understanding which brands have the highest trust share, but we can go deep into various categories and have a category-specific focus and see what are the changes between categories. We've learned by studying now our database over 10 years that there are different forms of trust. And we've been working over the last number of years to uncover what are the underlying drivers of trust and what is keeping it and how can brands build trust. And we've basically determined for BrandSpark that there are 2 key measures of trust. There's trust share, which I've talked about already. If they trust your brand the most in a given category, that's substantial and significant. But we've also dug into what we call brand resilience, which is what we call the depth of trust. So if so, they may trust your brand, but how much more do they trust it than others? How easily can consumers switch to another brand if they offer it on sale or if there's an innovation versus staying resistant to change? So those are the 2 key measures that we've uncovered. Just to share with you now, who are the top brands in the UK by trust share and resilience? So first, it's trust share. So you can see here the top 10. You can see the trust share column on the right. That's the percentage of people that open-ended to this category of what is your most trusted pound store. Not a big surprise where there's not necessary competition. It was interesting for me that Poundland actually came up. We've seen that the dollar stores are actually very strong in North America as well. Number 2, washing up liquid, is Fairy with a 75% market share, trust share, which is very impressive. Pregnancy test Clear Blue, where you see the American flag, that means this is also a most trusted brand in the UK, in the US. Electric toothbrush Oral-B, impressive also in the US and Canada. Easter chocolate Cadbury, also in Canada at 70%. Tampons, Tampax, US and Canada. Paint is Dulux. Sorry, I'm not sure I did that one right. And online language learning is Duolingo in the US and Canada. Men's shaving is Gillette, US and Canada as well. And finally, round up our top 10 frozen foods retailer at Iceland. So very impressive performance in terms of trust share. Now, when we look at resilience or where the consumers trust the brands more than other brands, you can see the only 2 that overlap between trust share are highlighted, Clear Blue and Tampax. The other brands have very, very strong resilience, but are not necessarily on the top 10 for trust share. So you have humidifier, electric fan, both of those categories. Dyson is at the top from a resilience point of view. Food processor and air fryer, Ninja. Again, also very strong resilience in the US and Canada. Stand mixer is Kenwood. Children's cough medicine is Calpol. Pregnancy test Clear Blue. Tampons, Tampax. Baby and kids laundry detergent Fairy. Portable speaker Bose in Canada. The US doesn't show up because there's JBL, which has strength in North America. Feminine hygiene pads Always, and cold sore remedy Zovirax. So these are, now you can see that resilience gives you a different picture. And what we do at BrandSpark is also do a lot of work to help brands grow their brand trust and resilience. So we have a 2x2 matrix here, which now charts both the trust share. So further to the right a brand is appearing is the higher its trust share. So you can see Poundland, you saw, had the highest trust share. It is furthest to the right. It's also on the bottom right quadrant, because the higher up you have is the higher the trust resilience is. So now you can see again the Dyson and Ninja appearing very high on the top left of this quadrant, and you saw them before having high trust resilience. And so really you can start to see how brands are positioned compared to other brands in different categories, and showing what is their particular opportunity. Is it to build trust share, or is it to build resilience, or potentially both? And even if a brand has high trust share or high resilience, what are those opportunities? And it's interesting now all of a sudden to get the picture. So you can see brands like Clear Blue, Tampax, Dulux, Oral-B are extremely well positioned because they have high trust share. They also have high resilience. You see brands like Dyson, very, very strong resilience. What is the opportunity to grow trust share? Well, that might be a little bit more of a challenge because Dyson tend to be highly priced products. And so that might be, for example, one of their challenges in growing trust share. But we have seen a brand like Ninja actually be able to have high resilience and grow trust share over time and show some really strong movement. And so just some of those examples we just are sharing. If you look on the left, these are the largest trust share gains by the trust leaders between our 2022 survey and our 2024. And you can see right at the top, Ninja has had a very impressive trust share gain, which I referred to before, Clear Blue as well, Jungle Formula as well, McCain. And on the right, we can see which of the brands that have been able to grow resilience. And here we can see Kenwood and Febreze, Holland and Barrett, and Listerine as the top leaders, and Silent Night in terms of their ability to grow resilience. So it's really interesting over time as we continue to do this survey year over year for brands to be able to rely on us for that information. Also, it's important to understand, and this is where having so many categories, that trust and resilience scores actually vary greatly by category, which means different benchmarks and goals. So we have some high resilience category groups such as baby, kids, OTC, health and pet care. You can see durable home goods. And then you can see some low resilience categories such as food and beverage, services, household, and cleaning. That means, if they're low resilience, but the larger the circle is actually the larger the gap between the trust share leader and the followers. So again, this kind of strategic information can help us have meaningful conversations with brands from providing a unique benchmark, which can hopefully help them. We also have dug in to what are the drivers of trust. And we can see that depending on what you focus on, it can impact both trust share and trust resilience. So for example, focusing on quality will impact both trust share and resilience. Focusing on price will help with trust share, a little less so on resilience. Consistency and transparency more with trust share, and push the button. And when you look at now innovation, recommendation, and heritage, those can impact trust resilience more. And values, while they are important and very topical these days, sometimes can have more of a limited impact on trust share and resilience, as we'll explain. We've developed a unique BrandSpark model, which we call the hierarchy of trust model. And it really has helped us understand what are those elements that brands can focus on depending on where they find themselves to grow trust. And we've learned that the foundation and largest drivers of trust and resilience are everything that establishes value, quality, fair price. And I don't think that's a big surprise. And then reassurance, which are made up of transparency, customer service. So those are better at driving initial trust, fundamental to grow trust among a broader audience. These are the foundation of trust to support consideration and trial. Then we can move into the higher elements once those are established that then can help drive resilience and deeper trust levels. And then we call those elevate, which is focusing on heritage, where you have it, innovation and recommendation. And then finally, at the top of the pyramid, once the rest is in place, the alignment of values. It can be very effective if the foundation is strong or if the brand is niche. Sometimes there's a temptation to focus on the values part, whether it's sustainability or many other areas that are important to consumers, but that is a very, very valuable and timely as long as the foundation is in place. Sometimes brands can perhaps spend more time on the alignment of values and not enough time on the key foundations of trust. We've also done work because a lot of brands use the purchase funnel from awareness, familiarity, consideration, purchase, and loyalty, a traditional purchase funnel. And we've managed to align our model of trust, the hierarchy, also to support the purchase funnel, and the two actually work really well together. So just want to go and share some examples of brands that have managed to be strong, but get even stronger. So for example, Tampax has long dominated its category. And this is North American data, as you can imagine. They've had 50% trust share in 2023, a massive lead over the closest competitor. But we've seen a huge trust share gain this year. They increased their base of resilient consumers more than any other brand in our database. And the most notable driver were improvements in recommendation and heritage. So again, they were able to solidify their dominant position by growing resilience. Another interesting brand is Pure Life. And they basically have, a lot of challenges to fight back against private label. And their performance against Kirkland, which is the Costco house brand, and Costco is a dominant brand in the USA and Canada. There were 5 categories where Kirkland actually had increased 5% trust share year over year. 4 of these, Kirkland continued to grow their resilient base: paper towels, garbage bags, cooking oil spray, face wipes. The one exception where they did not was bottled water. And here we were able to see that Pure Life, as a market leader, solidified its position with relative improvements in quality, recommendation, transparency, and heritage. What's even more impressive, and we're proud to be working with Pure Life, is they had the benefit of the Nestle co-branding for a number of years. It was Nestle Pure Life, and then Nestle divested of this Pure Life brand, and it's now completely independent, which is why you can see it no longer has the Pure Life. And so Pure Life saw, by leveraging and by using their credential, that was also going to be a way to help them solidify their brand positioning. We've also seen that innovative gains can work in non-innovative categories. So again, McCain, trusted brand in Canada, the US, also in the UK, has really developed a lot of innovation, and that is one of the ways that they have been able to continue. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that we are here to share category information, share leverage information, and share also any amplification opportunities with our partner Newsweek. We are going to be mailing out, and Dave is going to be doing this, a really very useful book. So when you're shopping and perhaps trying to figure out what are the trusted brands that you use or your family use, a nice little notebook. We're also going to be able to mail out to you some examples from the Newsweek magazine that actually published the most trusted brands, and also the UK list was also featured, and not only in print but also online. We also have some really lovely certificates that you can proudly display. Here's one that shows for Bondi. I don't know. I was trying to figure out the pronunciation. I even worked with somebody at Boots to make sure I was doing it right, which I'm sure I haven't. And also, we'll send out the full press release so you can actually see some of the trends. And so we are available to help support you in your quest to build trust, leverage trust, and to share it with all of your stakeholders and help you grow your business. So thank you for joining in person and also virtually. We are recording this. We will make this available. And we look forward to continuing on this journey as we bring you the most trusted brands in the UK. So thank you very much, and look forward to hearing from you in the future as we go forward.